Here we are then. Action research. This is the AR3 assignment where we will be conducting our research. It's been issued to you on the 10th of March and will run until June. It's about 3 months to work on your action research. The purpose of this unit, Unit 8, and this assignment, more to the point, is to enable you to carry out your action research in an area of your own domain and specialist area. The purpose is really to help you understand the nature of action research, conducting it and presenting the outcomes as well, putting a bow on it at the end, having it apply to real world situations. I will sign this once you submit. It will be internally verified by the mighty Vicky Soanes. And here's what we're doing. For task 1, you're going to be conducting your research. This might take a month or so. It might take shorter, it might take longer. But you need to put into practice your action research, whether it be your tests, whether it be your interviews, whether it be your observations, whether it be your data gathering, whatever your action research topic needs. For the first part of the assignments, you're going to be in the thick of it, doing it, collecting evidence, whether that be voice notes, very handy, which can be transcribed quite neatly by many of our phones now, whether it be videos, whether it be images, or perhaps transcriptions of your observations. Collecting that evidence is really crucial to show that you are capturing the story as it unfolds. Always being mindful of GDPR, of course, and the ethical guidelines outlined in AR3. Analysing our results can only come from capturing this evidence. So the first part of task 1, there's quite a lot going on there, isn't there? Conducting the research, so doing it. Collecting evidence as you do so, and analysing the results. So, for 4.3, collecting the data as it relates to your action research, and for 4.4, analysing the data, taking it apart, telling us what you've learned from it, deconstructing it, and finding out what that's helped you to understand. Part B, presenting your findings in an appropriate manner, whether that be visuals, using Google Forms and the way it visualises data into charts and graphs, whether that be Power BI, as Matt was telling us about in his presentation last week, to visualise data in a really dynamic, vibrant, live manner, or whether that be through images and stories and qualitative quotes and case studies, whether that be through spreadsheets and observations, witness statements. An appropriate manner means just that. Drawing conclusions from your results. What have you learned from it? What have you taken from it? What have you extracted from this experience? And how has it informed what you've learned? For part B, we're looking at 4.5, presenting data, and 4.6, drawing conclusions based on these findings. We'll help you with all these things in lessons, of course. Got some good expertise in the room to help us help each other. For part C, make recommendations based on your findings in your Departmental SAR an acronym that you may not be familiar with, so self-assessment review. Your own organisation's QIP, quality improvement plan, or any other organisational documentation. So you have your equivalent of this, I'm sure, at your institution or organisation. You're going to make recommendations to your institution or organisation based on your findings. This has real-world application, this research. And you're going to justify, persuade, where appropriate, these recommendations to your line managers, to your key stakeholders. Make a compelling argument. For 5.1 and 5.2, you'll be reporting your own findings and conclusions from your action research, and you'll be justifying, backing it up with quantitative and qualitative data. Recommendations for action to be taken based on conclusions from your action research. It's got high stakes attached. For task 2, this is about evaluation, reflecting on the progress and the process. For part A, reflect on your action research and analyse how effective it was. Did it do what you set out to do? Look back at AR1. Look back at AR2. Did you do what you set out to do? Was it effective? Did you manage to persuade, convince, make that undeniable argument you wanted to make? Which I know some of you are thinking of making with this research. Did you manage to show objectively and undeniably something to be true or underappreciated or in need of change? What was the impact? Did you affect any sort of change in people's perception? Your own, other people's, your learners, your organisation? For part B, identify your strengths and areas for improvement. This will come from conversations with myself in particular, but also your peers and your line manager as well. Focusing on the action research and what you've learned from it. It's quite a reflective process. I learned so much about my voice, my body language, my mannerisms and gestures, and how I maybe need to pivot and adapt and rethink some of the ways I use those different tools in my toolkit as an educator. Part C. Create an action plan for how you will develop your action research skills. You'll find yourselves internalising this process moving forward, this constant reflective process of iterating, adapting and going again as you go through this process. And it's a real lifelong skill, I've found. I did mine 12, 13 years ago, no longer, blimey, 16 years ago, whatever it was, and shaped me enormously as an educator. Continual reflection. If we role model that, then our learners will follow suit, and that's a deeply human skill set we need to encourage. Your reflection and action plan can be either a professional discussion, a vlog or a podcast with myself, submitted in a written report, provided as a vlog, or any other professional formats. So task 2, you've got some options there. It can be a professional discussion, a written report, a vlog, or any other professional format. We'll talk about that in class. Okay, so here's the evidence you're going to be submitting when it comes to our deadline, which is, again, on the 8th of June. Our checklist, a report, which can be produced in any professional written format with citations and references back to you to back up your text. written reports to cover the criteria, and a professionally produced evaluation, which, as discussed, could be video, audio, written. You will decide. As ever, your work should be presented in a professional academic style, Harvard referencing, drawing your own experiences now more than ever. Our criteria tick list is here. Give me your feedback at the end of this process in June. Tell me what went well, what you want to iterate, adapt, improve upon, and what action you need to take. I will put your feedback here, of course, and I'll sign it and date it here for the sample process. Okay, for this assignment, we've got 3 months to conduct the action research, to reflect on it, analyse it, and then present it to key stakeholders, people who can affect change. Or you might want to use it just as a reflective tool for your own practice. But either way, you're going to be in a strong position to have something to be proud of that you can actually use to move forward either your career and your practice as an educator, or your teams or organisation or institutions, with these ideas and this research to underpin your action research. Okay, as ever, message me if you need help with anything at all. There are timestamps in this video, so you can jump to wherever you need to jump to through the 3-month process of the action research. As ever, contact me. I'm here to help. All right? Good luck.